Good morning. All right, here we go, guys. Let's get straight to it. Today, we really want to, we try to set an intention every day or just something to focus on. And today, I want us to focus on just our surroundings. So when we're in a posture, when we start to think, we're going to try to slow it down and think about the surroundings and just be willing to be a part of that surrounding. So I have this really cool quote that I want to read you. And there's a lot more to this quote. By the way, this is a great book. I have most of my clients read this. It's called The Untethered Soul. It's really awesome. But this particular quote said, "The more you are willing to let the world be something you're aware of, the more it will let you be who you are." So I thought that was really cool. To me, that kind of means to just be aware and stop forcing the world to happen around you and just allow it to happen. And I don't mean just sit back and, chill out and not try to be the best that you can be in your best self. But I mean, if start listening to the intuition and letting the world just kind of flow naturally around you. And then you will find that you're more open and susceptible to be who you are. So with that said, let's get started. We have just 3 poses today, all right? So the first pose, you guys, is child's pose. We've been here before, that's for sure. So I'm keeping an eye on the time because I know we got to move on after a few minutes. But I'd highly recommend a blanket for this particular class. So what we're going to do is we're going to start big toes together, knees open, hips to heels. And then from there, let the hips stay drop to the heels, walk the hands out. And remember, if you have any questions or curiosities about these postures, you can go onto our membership site and there's tutorials there for you. But you can also just reach out to me, no problem. So let's get started. Let the chest just fall to the ground. Arms out in front. You can always place something underneath your chest or even behind your knees if you need a little bit more breathing room for your knees. And we're going to resolve to be still for here for just a couple minutes. Let the chest fall. Chin or forehead on the mat. I recommend forehead early in the morning. And just begin your natural breath. Begin breathing in and out. Feeling that natural flow of the breath. Just being aware. Breath is a part of the world around you. Now you'll stay here and try to make your exhales a little longer than your inhales. So moving more into breath control. If you hear any sounds around you, just notice the sounds. Try to notice how the air feels on your skin. Just be with your body and your breath. Continue to breathe. And lift the chest just a little bit. Walk your hands in. Take your right arm, thread it underneath the left arm, and just lay right there on the arm just for a few breaths. So the arms kind of just even with the shoulder, maybe a little lower. Notice how the back of the shoulders gently stretching. Left hand on the mat, use that to help you up. And right arm out, left arm underneath. A few breaths here. Lay on the left shoulder. And here we go. Lift up. Right arm's going to help you up. Moving on, you guys. So come forward. Take the hands in front. Knees together. They're, well, not together. They're underneath your hip points. And from here, let's just warm up the spine a little bit. Now, in yin, we don't like a whole lot of movement, but it's pretty early in the morning, and we're not going to move around that much. So as we inhale, we drop the belly, draw the shoulder blades through, lift the tailbone, lift your chin. So you're lifting all the way from tailbone to top of the head. Now, as you exhale, draw the navel in first, tuck your tailbone, shoulders press forward, chin drops. Let's keep doing that twice more. Just moving with the breath. I changed my mind. Let's do it one more time. And inhale, coming to flat back, moving into Sphinx. So Sphinx, you guys, is one that we're going to take in a few levels. We're not going to be here too terribly long. Lying on the belly, start with forehead to forearms like this. And once you're there, pay attention to the lower back and see how that feels, because we're going to put a very healthy compression on the lower back. Really wake up that area. And if that feels good, and there's not too much tension on the lower back, then you come to elbows underneath the shoulders. Maybe you need to stay with forehead to forearms a little bit longer. That's fine, do that. If you'd like to come up, we come up, but we let the belly sink to the ground. We let the glutes loose the butt muscles. You can drop the head or keep it lifted. Find this place of stillness. Commit to it for the next minute or so. Those deep breaths continue within. In fact, be aware of what happens when you take an extra long exhale. Count 3 more deep breaths in this posture. On your next exhale, lower back to forehead to forearms if you're on your elbows. Stay here for just a moment, maybe swish the hips from side to side. If you feel pretty sticky back here, that's natural, it's okay, it'll go away. And then draw one knee up to the shoulder, turn it out. This is gonna give you a little bit more relief on the sacrum. All right. The legs meet. We're going to very slowly work our way back up. Oh, yes. And then from tabletop, where we were earlier, very casually just sass the hips from right to left. And don't worry too much about the upper body. Just be kind of relaxed here. Maybe hips in a circle, one direction and the other. All right, then come back to a seat. So we're going to be spending pretty much the remainder of the time seated in these types of hip stretches, all right? So for the back of the hips. Now, keep in mind, guys, that if you feel like you're really tight sitting down on the floor and the hips are drawing under, grab a pillow or something and sit on it. That's really important, particularly for this next posture. We're going to do fire log. So get your blanket, keep it close by in case you need it. But what we do here, guys, is we're going to take one knee in front of the hip point. So let's start with the left knee. The left knee is in front of the hip point, the shin parallel with maybe the edge of the mat or the bed, wherever you are. And then the right leg comes in, turns out, and goes over the left knee. Now, guys, this took me forever to get down. This is a tough one. So if you're finding this tough, everybody's body is different. Then you're going to take this top leg, the right leg, and put it just in front of the left. All right, you don't have to put it on top. But we are looking for kind of like this stacked fire log feel. And then from here, you can place the blanket underneath the body or underneath the legs if that makes you feel more comfortable so that you're not just hanging there. And so maybe this is good enough for you, right? Enough stretch. This is tough. Keep his foot slightly flexed just to protect the knee a little bit. Make sure your shins are stacked. And then if and when you're ready, that's when you can kind of hinge forward. Ooh, hello. And feel this right hip opening up. Now, maybe this is for you and you're feeling it already. Stay there. It's okay. All right. You want to honor your body where it is. Let's begin our time. So you're going to roll the shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it go. And recommit to stillness. Even though this might be screaming at you, the hips might be screaming at you, we want to find that smooth breath. Keep the mind focused and aware. Just allow the body to be part of the surroundings. Five more deep breaths here. Sometimes counting the breath helps us stay calm, especially when we're in a pose that is comfortably uncomfortable, we'll say. On the fifth breath, or whenever, inhale to rise. Ah, hello, glutes. We hold a lot of tension in our hips. And last week we really focused on opening up the front of the hips. So this week we'll focus on the back of the hips. Straighten the legs out in front. Oh yes. Point and flex the feet. Turn the toes in and out, in and out. There we go. Just move organically, guys, whatever feels good. Take the right ear to the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. And coming up, we've got another side. So this time the right knee comes in front of the right hip point. Try to get that 90-ish degree angle with the knee. And the other leg on top or in front. Use the blankets accordingly or pillows. And let's get started. Here we go. Lifting up nice and tall. Maybe this is where you want to stay. And let me tell you guys, if your ankle kind of rubs into your thigh, put a blanket underneath it. There's always a place for a blanket. Hinging forward. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, try to melt into this. Just marinate here for about 1.5 minutes. All right, 5 more breaths here. Nice controlled breath. Inhale to rise. All right. And let's unfold the legs. This time, take the legs out to the side. And once you're in your V, if you're not really comfortable with this V, close the legs again because we'll come back into this. But what we want to do right now is just stretch out the arms. So inhale, take the arms over the head, or the chest and back, I should say. Interlock the fingers, palms to the ceiling, press up. Oh yes, good morning. Stretch. Now palms towards the head, round out, tuck the chin. And if you want to, sway side to side. Not big sways, you're just little. Feel the body waking up. All right, settle back into center. Now, if you need to go, this is a great place to stop. But for me personally, whenever I start to do my yin practice, I always do it. And then I'm like, oh, well, I need to do this now. And so if you want to keep going, please keep going. Otherwise, feel free to press stop. If you're on the replay, you know what to do. Just keep going or press stop too. All right, guys, so we're going to hinge forward, relax the feet, drop the head, and we'll just be here for a little bit. So this is straddle pose. We're relaxing into this posture. You can even round out the spine. If you're coming out of this posture, inhale to rise. Just a little bit of that inner thigh stretch goes a long way, I'm telling you. Come to your comfortable seat again. And take the arms, cross them, maybe touch opposite shoulders or behind the shoulders. Tuck your chin. Just hold here. One more deep exhale. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Lift the chest very proudly. Exhale, cactus arms. Yes. And release. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for coming out this morning or watching the replay. Let me know that you did by commenting below. And my wish for you is that you have a very aware day. Sometimes we can get locked into that rigmarole of the day, and that's okay. But still be aware to know when to step back and look at your surroundings and understand that you're a part of that whole, part of those surroundings, every bit of it. Have a wonderful day. Make it the best. Bye, guys.